Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again. I hope you guys are all doing well. And you know, I don't know why you continue to click on my videos when you know what is to come. I have a few videos lined up here today of women from over on TikTok. Let's just jump right into it. The first one here, we're going to be kicking it off with this woman who's losing her mind because some dude calls her a bad single mother, essentially. And of course, she is a single mother. So let's jump into it, guys. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Let's take a listen.
You know, I should really be used to the double standards by now for single and solo parents, but it still blows my mind. It still blows my mind when I get comments like this one.
Okay, so this comment says, Gabby, babe, this is insane. Kids need stability. I fear this is such a downhill slide for your poor kid. Come on, give him some stability at the bare minimum. So maybe this is a woman actually making a comment to this woman saying, hey, you know, maybe don't go out there and go traveling to meet up with dudes and instead focus on raising your kid, for example.
This was commented on a video where I'm talking about spending a couple days with my boyfriend for the holidays. Everyone travels for the holidays. Everybody spends time with their loved ones, their friends, their family members, whoever it may be. To try to insinuate that my son has no stability or that this is somehow a downward slide for him or that, you know, I'm not giving him the best as his mother or taking the best care of him or whatever the case may be, to insinuate any of those things because we are simply spending a few days with my boyfriend over a holiday break is actually crazy. Because
no, you know, see, the thing is, I think the kid's downhill slide came from the fact that you failed to secure the biological father of the child in the picture in the first place. I don't think, guys, that these women should be out here dating, to be honest with you, whatsoever. You should be making it work with the biological father of your kid. What's that? He's a narcissist? What's that? You don't like him? He's a terrible dad? Should have made a better choice then. Guys, it's amazing to me how these women go out here. They will have kids with random dudes and then complain about the consequences of their actions. Oh, why can't I just go date other men? And it's like, this is such a terrible decision for your child, by the way. Like, it absolutely is. You know, many of these kids grow up without stability whatsoever. The mother goes through like multiple boyfriends. And we all know, guys, that when you introduce random dudes, by the way, to kids, it's probably not the best idea. It's not safe for the child at all. Let's keep going.
if I had a few days with my boyfriend over a holiday break is actually crazy. Because if I had posted that video word for word, and if the only thing that I had replaced was instead of saying I was going to my boyfriend's, if I had said that we were going to a family member's house, that we were traveling to a friend's, whatever the case may be, if I had switched out the word boyfriend with any of those things, there would not have been this comment. Nobody.
Yeah, and you know why? You know why there wouldn't have been that comment? Is because people could insinuate that maybe the child is staying with the father, the biological father, for example. You know, if you switch out the word boyfriend, what's going to happen is people assume, oh, the father of the kid is around. So of course it's more okay because the child has a father to look after them while you're going to visit your parents. Cool. You see what I'm saying? It's like the insinuation goes from, okay, well, she's no longer a single mother. She's now in a serious, committed, long-term relationship with the biological father of the kid. This makes people go, oh, this is a lot more stable. You know, because having two parents there is a lot more stable than having one biological parent there. I don't know. The common sense is just lost on these people, guys, I guess. You know?
If I had switched out the word boyfriend with any of those things, there would not have been this comment. Nobody would be accusing me of not giving stability to my son. Nobody would be questioning me as a mother. Nobody would be saying anything. So
you're absolutely right, madam. And this is why it's so important to not go out there and become a single mother and then have to have boyfriends after the fact. You know what I mean?
It is just crazy to me that I can spend a couple days traveling with my son and it's perfectly fine. I can go take him to spend a couple days at a friend's house and it's perfectly fine. But the minute I spend that exact same time doing those exact same things, but with my boyfriend, suddenly I'm a bad mom. Suddenly I'm not giving my son stability. And I don't want to attack the person who made this comment because I know it comes from a good place. I know that there are some single and solo mothers. There are some parents who don't put their child first, right? They're selfish. They don't give their children stability. You know, they may put a relationship above, you know, parenting, things like that. But for me, that's not the case. My child is my priority. He will always be my priority. My boyfriend even knows it. And I told him my son always comes first, even.
Isn't it crazy, guys, how you have all of these single mothers, okay, who claim that the kid is their priority. Like, can we please think about this for a second, okay? Because in my mind, if the kid was the priority, the father would still be in the picture. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is kind of like somebody going, my finances are my priority, but I did gamble away 3/4 of my total net worth when I had the most amount of money in my life. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this doesn't represent that at all. I don't think these women are good mothers whatsoever. Step one to being a good mother is probably ensuring that the environment that the child is born into is one that's going to lead them to a good life. Typically, and always, excuse me, this means having two parents, biological father, biological mother, in the picture. This sets them up a lot better, as far as I understand it, than any other permeation. You know what I'm saying? If you want to sit there and go, well, I prioritize my kid, but at the same time you're a single mother, these two things are kind of at odds with one another, but they don't see it. They think, oh, the child is my priority. And just, by the way, this boyfriend, this is what I say to dudes, by the way, don't deal with single mothers. You will never be a priority whatsoever. You will get ranked below the children. You'll get ranked below her. You'll get ranked below her family. You'll get ranked below the bills. You are like, ninth on the totem pole. Okay? Like, it's just, you have all of the responsibility and zero authority if you deal with these women.
He will always be my priority. My boyfriend even knows it, and I told him my son always comes first, even above him. I love my son more. I care more about my son, and he's perfectly fine with that. He himself has said if that was not the case, he would not be with me. He sees what a good mother I am. He knows that I prioritize my son, and that's part of why he's attracted to me.
This guy's an absolute simp. This guy is just, I don't know, man. Some dudes are just like this. You can't, unless they go through a significant amount of pain, they are just going to go through these situations repeatedly, and it's really sad. Dudes think that this is the way to go. Oh, he's so attracted to you because you're such a great mother. This is such nonsense, man. This guy's just a simp. That's really what it boils down to. This dude probably doesn't have a whole lot of other options. He has very little self-respect, and so that's why he's with you. And he doesn't mind being treated like crap. He doesn't mind being a wallet and so on.
Exactly what I would do with future children. And that's the kind of mother that I am, and the kind of mother that I'm always going to be. But again, like I said, the double standard goes crazy because, again, spending a couple days with my boyfriend for the holidays is not a crime. It is not a disservice to my son. He has plenty of stability. Even when we do stay with my boyfriend, my son has his exact same routines, his same toys, his same books. He has me there. He has his sound machine, his pacifier, his sleep sack, his crib. He has absolutely everything that he needs, even more so than when we go to visit family. So again, I appreciate the thought. I appreciate the concern, but I promise my son is well taken care of.
Yeah, she's pissed, man. These women absolutely hate these comments, right? And again, I just think it's a terrible decision to have a child without a father in the picture. But I don't know, man. These women just seem to think it's totally normal and everything's fine. Back in the day, this would not be nearly as common. But here we have all of these women on TikTok making videos about this. Nobody is forcing these people to become single mothers, by the way. This is something that they do of their own volition, and then they jump on here and they cry on the internet when people judge them for it. Let's continue into this next clip here. This is single parent rant. This woman looks like how I feel when I don't have my coffee, man. Let's jump in.
Single parenting is not for the weak. I have an almost 10-year-old and I have a 4-year-old. Okay. So I've been single parenting now for quite some time. I still feel the need to ask other single parents out there how in the world you are doing this. How are you doing it?
Yeah, so the thing is, the reason why this is so difficult, I see so many videos like this where a woman will say, being a single mother is so difficult. Being a single parent is so difficult. How does everybody do it? And I'm just going to sit there and laugh, right? Because the reason why this is so difficult is because it's not supposed to be done in the first place. Many of these people's problems, guys, would just be solved by not making stupid decisions, by not making the initial decision in the first place. The reason why raising a child by yourself is so damn difficult is because you're not supposed to be doing it by yourself. Now, I understand this is not the question that the woman asked, okay? But or it's not the answer she wants, rather. But I don't really care, man. I really don't. Like, if you want, here are some strategies to look after your child by yourself. I'm not a parent, okay? But I understand that this is not this is not a light responsibility, okay? I don't even have a kid, man. And I understand just how much of a responsibility a child is. You know, but these people, they just have it and they're like, oops, you know, got to look after 2 kids now. Which, by the way, these 2 kids are 6 years apart. So do you guys think that she had a long-term relationship and she had, you know what I mean? Like, no, these are probably 2 kids to 2 separate dudes. So now she has to, if she wants some semblance of stability, she's going to have to get, like, you know, a 3rd dude in here, which, by the way, she's slept with more than 3, I guarantee you. She's going to have to get a 3rd dude in here in order to help sort her life out. And this guy not only is not going to be the biological kid of the first one, but he's not even the biological kid of the second one. And I guarantee you this woman doesn't want to have any more kids. So if he does want to have a family, he can't have it with her. So he's essentially raising 2 other dudes, 2 other dudes' children. What the hell, man?
Like, I'm obviously missing something. And it's not obviously my iced coffee. This morning, I'm sitting here telling my kids not to have an attitude. Stop being mean. What, you know, why are you in the mood? I don't know. Probably because I'm in a freaking mood. I have an attitude. I'm being mean. Obviously, I could go on and on and on. But the point here is simple. Regardless of how long you've been doing this by yourself, it doesn't get easier, unfortunately.
I don't know who's telling these women this in the first place, man. I don't know. It's probably other women, actually, now that I think about it. In fact, it is other women going out there and telling them, you can do it all by yourself, queen. Don't worry, you got this. You don't need no man. Everything's going to be fine. Your Prince Charming is just around the corner, no matter what your situation is. You know, if you're 50, you can still find your Prince Charming. If you've got some kids, you can still find your Prince Charming. If you're 32 years of age and you want to have children, everything's going to be fine. And I just think this is a really bad message to send to not just women, but people in general. If you tell somebody their situation is fine or going to be fine when you know that it's not, if they don't change their behavior, this doesn't make you like a good friend or a good advisor or anything like this. I feel like if you have a friend, right, or if you have somebody who's giving you advice on something, then the advice, if it's painful but it needs to be, that's fine. This kind of reminds me of if you're someone who's overweight, okay, and you go to your friend and you're like, hey, do you think I need to do something about my health? And your quote unquote friend says, no, you're fine. That's probably not a good friend, okay? But if you go to one of your friends and you say, hey, do you think I need to do something about my health? And they go, yeah, of course, like, why don't you come to the gym or so on and so forth? Then this is probably a lot better of a friend than the one who just straight up lied to you. I think a lot of women are out here lying to other women. And you know, when I say this, by the way, a lot of the people who actually agree to this, who understand this the most, is women. They're like, yes, this is absolutely right. Women will go out here and they will actively try and sabotage each other's lives because they want other people to be miserable like them. It's crazy. Let's continue.
For me, I still question myself every day on if I'm raising these tiny humans to the best of my ability. So when I get them in their beds at night, after a stressful day and a stressful routine to even get them to lay down, I sit there and still feel so guilty about how I acted that day. If I yelled too much, if I was too harsh, because we all have our own stuff going on, right?
Okay, so this is the problem that she's running into. And this is what so many women complain about when they become single mothers and things like this. And I actually understand this, right? I get where it comes from. I think it's stupid to be a single mother. But so what she's complaining about here is she has no idea how to actually discipline the children. She can't simultaneously be the carer of the children and the disciplinarian. It's very difficult for mothers to do this. I brought this up on a recent episode, guys, but this is why it's so important to have a mother and a father in the picture, is because they do different things. And when you try and cross over the roles, particularly when you try and give women the traditionally male role, they can't do it. Right? And that's not a flame on women. That's not me roasting women. It's literally they're not even supposed to be doing it, is my point. Right? Women are supposed to be taking care of the kids, looking after them, you know, emotionally and physically and things like this, not in a protective sense, but you know what I mean, not in like burglar comes into the house kind of protection. And then the dude is supposed to be there to discipline the child and help insert boundaries and things like this. If you try and give the mother the role of the disciplinarian, they can't do it. They don't like doing it. They screw it up really bad. The kids don't even listen. I mean, how many times have you guys seen this? Probably out grocery shopping, okay? There'll be like some single mother and the kid will be there and she'll be trying to tell the kid to be quiet and the kid just refuses to listen. Okay, but then you see like a two-parent family or something like this, the dad says to be quiet, the kid will absolutely be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Because one represents discipline, the other one represents care. But you can't mix this crap. This is why it's so bad, man. And the kids just, they grow up, they don't understand personal boundaries and things like this. A lot of them were not disciplined correctly, and so on.
Too harsh, because we all have our own stuff going on, right? And now here I am also raising two children in that mix, and in a very scary world, mind you. And I don't get to come home and share my responsibilities with somebody, take a load off and see if they'll help that night. They'll deal with bath times and dinner and still making sure that they get plenty of attention and love and talk about their days. I don't get to lay in my bed and talk to my partner about how I feel like I'm failing as a parent.
She goes, I'm lonely, to be honest. So what do these women really want? I think we all know the answer of what these women actually want. It's they don't actually want a man to love and care about, right? They are not interested in contributing in any way to the man's life. It's all about me. It's all about what I want. I need somebody to split this responsibility with. I need somebody to take care of my kids. Okay? And the thing is, what does the dude get out of this situation? And the answer to that is very little. Like, this woman's throwing a self-pity party right here, okay? But a lot of these women, even if they have kids to, like, random dudes, they still think that they are somehow the prize to men and that men should be bending over backwards to do whatever it is that they want them to do. But having all of this responsibility as a man, especially in return for nothing, is just a complete waste of a dude's time. Dudes will adopt responsibility if they think that the trade-off is worth it. You know what I mean? So, for example, if a dude is going to have a very high level of responsibility looking after kids, but those kids are his own, a lot of men will say, okay, that's fine by me. I'll take on the responsibility. I'll work extra hard. I'll ensure that there's a roof over our heads, you know, and so on and so forth, because they're my kids. This is responsibility that I chose. But if you just want to hand responsibility to men that is not theirs to begin with no benefit at the end of the day, men are just going to say no. You know, and I don't think that men are obliged to have relationships with women like this. I really don't.
Talk to my partner about how I feel like I'm failing as a parent. Or the good things. How I feel like I totally crushed it that day and I was mom of the freaking year. Sorry, got emotional there for a second. Because I can.
Did this woman just have, I'm sorry, we have to pause the video. Did this woman just have coffee with a straw right then, by the way? Is that what just happened? Emotional coffee break. She picks up her, who has coffee with a straw? I'm sorry, guys, I don't know what the hell's going on here. So again, I just want to highlight this, by the way. Also, this woman, it's crazy to me because she's complaining about wanting to take a load off in terms of responsibility and putting the kids to bed and stuff like this. As far as I understand, these kids are out at school during the day. Okay, probably different levels of education, but nevertheless, they're both out at school. So I don't know, is this woman working? Because here's the thing, if she's not working and she's just receiving government assistance or money from the dude, and all she has to do is look after the kids, this level of complaining is so stupid. You know, because imagine you're the dude, right? You go out there, you make money, you look after this woman, you come home, and then after doing nothing all day, she wants you to take the responsibility of putting the kids to bed, bathing them, and so on, and making dinner. It's like, so not only are you expected to do the male role, but you're also expected to do the traditionally female role as well. This is what I'm talking about, man. It's like dudes will go out here, work like a long ass shift, they'll come home, and then they also have to take on her responsibility because she doesn't want to do it.
Because I can, and it's my page, and I can rant if I want to. Because, oh my gosh, I have been at my tipping point recently. I've been at my tipping point multiple times. But with everything going on in my personal life too, I'm just like throwing the towel, man. So, Mama, Dad, whoever you are, you're doing phenomenal.
Wait. Hold up. So after all this, by the way, this woman has, number one, she's given up, okay, is what she's saying here. But number two, she's making this video. She, in her own words, is doing really poorly. She doesn't feel like a good mother and so on. And so then what does she say to the other women who are in her exact same situation? Don't worry, you're a great mother. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier in the video, guys, where women will just lie to each other. You know, so what, you're a single mother. So what, you have 2 kids to 2 different fathers. You're a great single mother. You're doing great. It's like, no, this isn't the answer. If somebody's doing bad, you tell them they're doing bad. If somebody's doing good, you tell them they're doing good. And that way, they actually know where they're at so that they can make improvements. If you go out here and you tell people that they're doing fantastically when they're not, this is a very bad idea, because people are going to stick to doing the same crap. They're going to go out there and make the same decisions. You know, and this is the problem that I have with these videos, man, is women will just absolutely lie to each other. But this woman, ironically enough, she ends up giving up. So let's jump into this last clip here. This is another woman. Oh my goodness. Childcare costs. Hi guys, I thought I would just do a little TikTok video, it seems. Let's jump in.
Dish up dinner with me. It's nothing amazing. As you know, I'm actually in emergency accommodation. This isn't the emergency accommodation.
I didn't know this. I guarantee you that basically nobody knew about this.
This is my mum's. But I just wanted to put on here and talk about how expensive childcare is. Now,
True.
For a bit of context, I work normally full-time, as childminder couldn't look after anymore. I've had to take time off to go and find new childcare. And being a single mum, there's no one else to look after my baby. But I literally just got the invoice in. And I'm not joking, right? I don't actually, you have to like be able to afford the like upfront payments. And I actually don't get how people can afford stuff like that. It's so expensive. It's ignored the fact my potato was literally not cooked on the inside whatsoever. But what I was saying.
I love how this woman is like air frying her food and still manages to screw it up. Anyway, so she's going to be complaining about the cost of childcare here. Now, I want to say this, guys. I understand. Okay, everything is super expensive these days. Childcare is obviously super expensive. But again, it just comes down to the situation of like, okay, if you actually had a man in your life who, you know, for example, was a hard worker or something like this, you actually chose a good man, which none of these women actually choose, by the way. If you chose a good man to begin with, like you undoubtedly had the option to do so, then there was a good chance that you could be a stay-at-home mother. You wouldn't have to worry about the childcare costs and so on. You wouldn't even have to be going out there working in all likelihood if you played your cards correctly. But what ends up happening, man, is these women are so bad at choosing men. They are so bad. And even if they do choose a good man, you know what they do? They throw him away so that they can receive the child and receive ongoing money from that man if they can. This is the really sad state of affairs, guys, is women and children are actively being used by a lot of, children and men, are actively being used by women as a means to get resources through the government, right? So what I mean by that is women will go out here, they'll have a kid with the dude, they'll ditch the dude so that they can get resources from the man. So they're essentially using the child and they're using the man to steal from that man through the government. I think it's absolutely disgusting, to be honest. But back to the original point here. Yeah, childcare is so expensive. Everything is absolutely expensive right now. It's ridiculous. I agree with this woman. It's totally ridiculous. But again, it shouldn't have come to this in the first place, realistically. Or at the very least, I know a lot of people who everything's so expensive, you have to have two people working these days. At the very least, between the income of the two of you, had you actually had a father in the picture, you would have been able to afford the childcare.
So expensive, it's ignored the fact my potato was literally not cooked on the inside whatsoever. But what I was saying is childcare is so expensive, it's unbelievable. Like my upfront cost, bearing in mind I'm not going for like a fancy nursery, and they still want £900 up front, and then that's 2 weeks before the initial payment. I mean, I know it settles itself out, and obviously being on my own, I can claim 85% back, but bearing in mind they sort of only pay like 50% of that the next month.
This woman can claim 85% of that back? That's crazy, guys. Like the tax benefits that single mothers must receive sounds absolutely insane to me.
And then it takes like something stupid between 3 and 6 months to fully catch up. Anyway, I'm just baffled because where I'm in emergency accommodation, I don't have any cooking facilities, nothing. So I have to get things that you can either make through hot water through a kettle, or on the odd evenings I can come here, I can make dinner. I just don't get how the system works, because I'm still working because I want to provide for my children. We love it when the phone dies, but I was just essentially saying I don't get how it's supposed to work, how you're supposed to afford to live, work, look after children on your own. The system's supposed to be there to support you.
No, the men are supposed to be there, but we're not, because you decided to throw the men away. Guys, I'm so confused here. What happened to don't need no man? This is really just the consequence of their actions. That's what these videos all represent, man, is the consequences of these women's actions. They chose to not have the father in the picture. Oh, but my situation is different. He's a deadbeat dad. Okay, let's just assume that's true. Why did you choose a deadbeat to have a kid in the first place with? Oh, but it was an accident. Okay, why are you even risking accidents with a man that you can't see having children with? And then they get angry. It's like these people take no accountability whatsoever. And they think that, oh, they're allowed to just go out here and do this crap and everybody has to support them. I don't support this at all. I think it's a terrible decision. But you know what? You didn't need no man. This is what you chose. Have fun with it. Guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.